Producer and actress Carol Burnett once said, "When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let go." This is the Producer's Lounge podcast, the best podcast online for tips and tricks on producing great film, television, and web content. Welcome back for Season 2, Episode 11, hosted and produced by GreaterandGrander.com. On this week's episode, we're chatting with Summer Moore, who has produced films, shorts, and web series, including Pandemic Pillow Talk starring Eric Roberts. We discuss producing VFX on an indie budget, film schools, and working as a woman producer and actress in Hollywood. Also, because of certain topics, I do have to begin this episode with a content warning. In this episode, we do have discussions about sexual assault. So if you are triggered by such topics, or if you have PTSD like myself, please bear that in mind as listening. Here now is my conversation with Summer Moore. Turning my cut in like 3 weeks or so. Yeah, but it's coming out good. It's a lot of funny stuff.
You edit on Premiere? What are you using, Avid, or what are you using?
I use DaVinci Resolve.
Okay, yeah, I haven't tried that. I know that that's like a thing for people now because it's free and it's supposed to be pretty good. But I'm like, really? So for color, yes.
Honestly, yeah. When my friend Phil, actually, he's one of the smartest guys I know. He recommended it, and I was like, I don't know, isn't this just a color thing? But I got into it, and like, there's color, editing, audio, effects. There's all of this stuff baked in. It's amazing.
So it's kind of like Final Cut. I felt like I love Final Cut still. And then I'm like, it's so nice because it's not Adobe wants you to like go, I'll use their other stuff instead of just concise in one place,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you, if you're a Final Cut person, where do you stand on the Final Cut 7 versus Final Cut X debate?
Oh man, 10 like changed the world. I mean, I feel like Adobe is very similar to me when I started using Adobe to 7. I mean, it's better than 7, but it's still like antiquated. I'm like, what? And I had started using Adobe after Final Cut. And I still, to this day, I just love Final Cut 10. I just am really ticked off at Apple for making everything so proprietary and doing what they did, because I think that product is just awesome. But it's just crap. I mean, you couldn't even like read Final Cut 7 program, files, and you'd have to pay to downgrade or pay to upgrade. And I'm like, come on.
Oh my God.
And I had a problem with the sound designer one time because I couldn't get him a Pro Tools file that he could use because you have to buy an extension you have to buy the plugin from Final Cut so that you could do it. So it's just this nightmare. Like so I love 10. I still love 10, but because of my work, we work a lot in Adobe. So I've had to learn more Adobe, but I still love 10.
Yeah, totally. It's funny because like for the longest time I had, let's just say I was gifted free versions of the Adobe software, everything, After Effects, everything. And it was really cool. And then my gift ran out, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So like the past couple of years, I've been diving into more of this freeware like DaVinci and Blender, and I'm thinking maybe I'll look at Unreal Engine next. So.
Oh man, I went to this PGA thing a couple weeks ago where we were doing the walkthrough of one of the studios, the XR, the studio stages, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. Like,
I saw that. Yeah. How was that?
The deep dive. Well, they've been doing them at different studios. I only went to the first one and they had us kind of on a smaller sound stage. And they even said, this is not what you would normally ever shoot in. And it's like, well, then why are you showing us something so small? And they did a round concave with all the panels, which I think from a guy another producer, he was telling me that's not all of them can do that. And then their ceiling was like rounded. But then he was talking about another one that he saw that's even like, I can't remember what the shape of that, but that's like the new thing to do. So it was really cool. It's a very far drive for me and it's rough because I work full time and then I'm like, jetting over there, taking off early so I can go see this thing. And it was cool. It actually kind of weirdly bothered my eyes. And I wonder if I was on set all day, if it would bother me or if I'm in a mask or I don't know what's happening there, but it didn't from an acting side, because I also act, I was like, this is just awesome because you're getting to be in the world instead of green screening and totally faking it and making it all up in your mind. So it was very cool. I mean, it looked, you can't even tell they're panels. Like, it's just like
It's just LED,
yes,
realistic panels. They look,
yes.
oh my God.
It's nuts. And then but they were saying that they still haven't gotten to the point where pretend the sun is going over you, that they can't get that duplicate the light from the sun as bright as they would from, they'd have to get external lights and do more rigging on their kind of thing because they don't have the technology yet to be able to do that to that point. But
kind of that soft light of just general effect, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely do daylight and things like that, but if it was supposed to be bright, and then they were doing stuff with Unreal Engine where they'd take a tree and then all of a sudden they'd just move it and you'd just be like, we're in Europe and now the tree's moved over here. It's just, it was awesome.
Oh my God. That sounds amazing. Yeah. Let me ask you, like, I'm the kind of person, like, when I walk in someplace, I start visualizing how I can use the tools there. Like if I walk in a Home Depot, I start thinking about a house that I want to build. I have never built a house or had any interest in building a house in my life. But that's the kind of mentality I have. When you walk into a surround studio with LED panels like that, like what was shot on The Mandalorian, what do you think about when you go into that?
Yeah, I mean, so I look at it from different sides because I write, I act, and I produce. So it depends on which hat I'm like going from the producing side. It's like, well, how much money is this going to cost? And like, when is this realistic for you to be able to shoot in this? Because they're like, one of the shots they did was downtown LA. So they were basically sitting on a rooftop restaurant, and then you got downtown buildings and lights, and they can make it daytime or nighttime and all that. So I guess if you were in limited areas that maybe you couldn't either get permits or things like that, then it would be great. They did in the European Square, they said you can't shoot in that area. So they'd let a team go in and take basically whatever they did for the mapping. And so you'd never be able to shoot there. So for that, it's really cool. But there was one producer that was talking about how much does this really cost? And they were not really giving it just varies and that kind of stuff. And it sounded to me like at the end of the day, we're not at a point where you're just going to go shoot there just because it's cost effective. There was a film I was going to work on this year and they were like, well, we don't have a very big budget, but we have a deal with one of these studios and they wanted to do just standard houses and not anything special. And I was like, I can't imagine the price point for that is cheaper than going and shooting in a house and getting a location. And it's not. You would really be doing it for The Mandalorian or something, Avatar or something that's like out of this world, or maybe commercial content because you have so much money in your budget, you could do it, or it's cheaper. Instead of flying everybody over to Europe, we'll just shoot the scene here. So I mean, I could get there are practical times for it, but for most of us at this point, we're not doing that unless we're on big budget, massive needs for it.
That's what I wonder about too, and also like thinking about that, like when I worked at Paramount. Of course, they're Paramount, so their initial rate card is $8,000 a day or whatever for a thing. But then that gives them more maneuverability to negotiate for smaller shoots. And like, I think some of the smallest shoots I ever saw working at Paramount were like small photo shoots where it was just a photographer and a couple of models, and they would do that for like a couple $100 for a day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or they might have snuck in. I don't know.
Wait, Paramount snuck in? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, the photographer and the model snuck into Paramount.
I was like, Paramount? Are you wearing a USC shirt?
I am, and I know that we are both Trojans. Yes, right on.
I could see the little and I was like, oh, is that it? Is that one of those?
Well, I was looking and I realized like we're both Trojans. You worked at Chapman for a while. I actually went to Chapman for a couple of years before transferring to USA.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And then we're both PGA. We're both production people. Like, I'm surprised we don't hang out more often. Like,
this is the beginning of a relationship.
There you go.
Yeah. Did you go to film school at Chapman?
I did. Yeah.
Their film program, I think, is just awesome.
Yeah. And I got to be honest, like, Chapman because of the approach that they took at the time, they had a better program than USC because it was much more hands-on. It was much more
Yeah.
getting everybody
Yep.
involved. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Um,
wonder if that's the case now with USC's film school being like, I mean, it's always an amazing film school, but now they're actually getting one of those those soundstage, what I was just talking about at the
oh,
beginning.
wow. Uh-huh. All
Uh,
LED panels on all sides, huh?
Sony, I believe, is gifting it to USC. Yeah.
That's a hell of a gift.
I know. I was
God
like, the
damn.
guy who was telling me this, he was like, he teaches over at SE, and he was like, they're getting this. And I'm like, are you kidding? And I'm like, can you go shoot there? And he said, no, the deal is that we can't use it for anything that's like for profit. It's all for whatever, because they don't want the competition. But yeah, they're getting that too.
Oh my God.
I know. Like, I want to be bored now. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
I mean, it is a great time for content creation though, because like I graduated SC in '05, and we were one of the last classes to shoot on black and white film. And we were still being taught like the whole crew model. Now with miniaturization and all of these free software out there, you can literally make a film entirely on your own. It'll take a hell of a long time, but it's possible to do a true auteur job and make even a short film or even a feature film on your own. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's a curse and a blessing. I mean, digital really allowed us the ability to not have to be these super high skilled, I've got 500 degrees kind of like, and all the connections in the world to make our own stuff. But then you're competing with everybody that calls themselves a producer, everybody that's like taking their iPhone and shooting something. And now they're doing TikTok videos and they're getting way more hits than somebody who's professional, who works really hard at their content. And that gets tedious from the producing side. I don't know if it gets you, but for how many years have I heard all these actors call themselves producers, and they're not, they don't know the first thing. I mean, it's just like, oh, okay. Hey friends, you guys want to shoot something? Okay. Now I'm a producer. Guess what? And then I'm glad that the PGA gives the mark now, although it only does it for film. I think they were talking about doing TV, but it's not like you can get it on web content or anything like that. So you're only getting the recognition, but at least it's saying who really did all the work on all this, rather than in producer credit, courtesy credits and things like that. So,
and it's only studio features to boot, because it's only that realm. Like I've worked on several indie films and none of them were even close to getting the PGA mark. So, but yeah,
that's crazy.
So I'm curious. So where'd you grow up?
Most of my life I was in Colorado. I was born in Utah. I lived in California, Sacramento for 2 years. Then moved to Colorado, lived in Colorado most of my life, lived in Alabama for 2 years, Florida for like a year, and then out here the rest of the time. So my parents were divorced. And so it was all like that stuff going on Colorado was like, I couldn't wait to get back. I did not like living in the other places that I had to live in.
What did you like most about Colorado?
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know if it's the same exactly, because I grew up in Colorado Springs, and that's the second biggest city in Colorado. But it was very hometown feel. You were I mean, you didn't know where everybody is, still too big for that. But if a cop you passed a cop and you're trying to alert the next side of the road that there's a cop, slow down, you'd flash your lights, you wave at people, just there's kindness. There's really wonderful things like that, which when I was leaving there to come here, we were having this mad dash of Californians moving out there. And it was like, oh my gosh, these Californians, like, they're not us. And it's still, now prices are so expensive there. It's one of like the hot places to live in the US. So I don't know it has 100% still that as amazing as it was, but the people were just very nice. I think it helped me to be very grounded and what's the word I'm looking for? Not realistic, but down to earth. I mean, I'm not this big facade, let me act all like I'm she, like I think a lot of people are, and especially in this business. So I think I love the nature. I think it's beautiful. I'm not a camper. Like I like hotels, but it's pretty. Like I like river rafting. I love skiing, stuff like that. So I think overall, I often said if I ever had kids, I would not raise them in Los Angeles. I would want them in like Colorado was a great place to grow up. We were bored. I mean, for us to do something fun, we had to go to Denny's. That's all we ever did. My dad thought I was like lying because I was like, Dad, we're sitting at Denny's. And he's like, there's no way she's going to Denny's every night. They're out like doing drugs and they're out like being scandalous. And like, we sat at Denny's.
Hey, that's great. I mean, that's great.
I did do some, but I wasn't like robbing. I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't always at Denny's, but we were at Denny's so much. My dad, there was just no way he believed in anyone's mind. You guys are just sitting at Denny's, and
you were just like, Dad, come to Denny's.
Yeah, we're here. We're just here being degenerates, I guess. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Stamford, Connecticut.
Connecticut's supposed to be so beautiful. I haven't been there, but it's
a great place to visit. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Well, I tell people all the time, like, if you've seen American Beauty, picture an entire state like that. Because it was just like, growing up in Connecticut, and I've had other friends who grew up in New England. Like, there's a lot of like expectations pressed on you in terms of like you can't really deviate from what's expected of you.
Yeah.
And like even wardrobe is like people look down on you for that. So I saw that and I felt that, and I pushed hard in the other direction. I said, I'm going to be as wild as possible. I went around wearing a silver jacket in high school.
You need to like put pictures. If this was video, I'd be like, put pictures up. We need to see the flashbacks.
Yes. With the Wayne's World effect.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, was it in Colorado Springs where you first got the urge to like, I want to go into the entertainment industry? What was that story?
Most of my life, I knew I wanted to act. I was at a very young age, was putting on plays for like my family with my little sister. And it was just always a dream that this is what I love doing. And I think a lot of it is because really at my core, I'm introverted. And because of this industry, I've had to force myself to be a lot more outgoing. But all in all, like COVID's been great because I could just be alone. I'm not social pressured to have to do anything, like, yay. But from the standpoint of, as an actor, I could break out of the only times that I was like outgoing was when I was playing somebody else. So it was kind of a weird thing. So naturally, I always wanted to act. And then I did plays, was in drama club, did all that kind of junk. And I guess I told my grandmother pretty young, I'm going to be a star. That was the plan. And then this dude in high school told me about this college, USC, which I didn't really know much about. And he was like, they own an island, which is part of Catalina, which I didn't know that. And he was like, and I was thinking, oh, I want to go to a school with an island. I don't, you just like go, what are these thoughts that like shape your life? But that was it. It was like, ooh, I want to go to a school with an island. And I knew I wanted to be in the environment. Like, I love the environment, and I wanted to go to a school that had environmental science, but SC only had environmental studies, but it's still in the letters, arts and sciences school. And I knew my dad wouldn't pay for me to go to college to learn to act, like, especially SC, because it's not cheap. So I was going to get a real degree. And then, my whole goal was I'm going to be acting. And
so you double majored there in theater and environmental science?
No, I minored in theater.
Okay.
And USC I did a film for USC a few years ago. And I was talking to some of the drama students, like, has it changed at all? Is it any more? The film school is awesome. And then the theater school is really still theater based. It's just theater. Oh, you don't come to Los Angeles to learn to be in theater. You would go to New York, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, you want to learn about acting in film and television. And there were literally 2 classes that I could take that were about film related.
Oh my God.
Otherwise it was plays and like, and I thought they would have changed by now, but as of however many years ago, they were like, no, it's really sucks. So I got to take one class called auditioning for the camera, which was cool because at least it taught you some of the slating and that kind of stuff, which you you need to learn this stuff. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a business, like acting. It's people don't realize you're a product and you're a business. You're not just, I'm an actress, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I did all that. I got out of college. I pursued acting, did some stuff. But I got honestly very tired of trying to network with producers, most of them predominantly male, all of them male from what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to create a business relationship with them, and then they would just want to date.
Yeah.
And so they'd turn it into this whole like, oh, I'm into you kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to get my career furthered. And so then I thought, well, if I start writing, they won't treat me like a commodity anymore. I'm not just a physical thing. Now I've got a brain.
Yeah.
So I wrote, and then that was harder for me to get in the door because they'd say, well, what produced works do you have? And I didn't have any. And so it didn't matter if my script was good or not. And honestly, there was a lot of sexism with that. I got told you need to use a male pen name because people won't even read your script if it's a female. So it was easier for me to get in the door as an actress because I had credits. And then I would do the thing with the agents. The agents would be like, oh, get the headshot, do the headshots with my photographer. Let's do your resume the way I like to do it. We're going to do your reel and all that. So you do all this stuff. You think you're going to have this wonderful agent. And then a year later, they've sent you out on one audition or two, or me. And I'm like, that's all I'm getting. We don't know why. You've got a great resume. Your pictures are great. We don't know why. So then you hop over to another agent, do the same thing, and it just keeps going. It's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got to an agent that actually I really loved her. She came to my photo shoot, which they never do. Like I've never had she wanted to get the exact shot she wanted. Like it was awesome. And I started doing a lot. I had started producing, and because I was tired of waiting around to be discovered and tired of not getting the roles, or I'm not even getting sent out. So it's not like my acting sucks that I'm not getting the parts. It's I can't even get in the door. So I started producing out of a necessity that I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to sit around and wait, which every agent should love because they don't like the actor that just waits for them to do everything. Right. So I made this whole, all these films. I did my first feature that I produced by myself. I'm a lead in it. I got the money. I mean, it was a huge feat. And
what was the name of that feature?
It's called The Warning. And it didn't do very well. It's very sad. It was a found footage film, which there was no way we could have done something for a budget of that caliber that was not found footage. But people kept comparing it to Blair Witch and saying it was a knockoff of Blair Witch. And it was so frustrating because it's like, it was actually based on true accounts of devil worshiping in the devil worshiping capital of the Western world in Colorado, which it was right where I grew up.
Wow.
But people would just be like, this is Blair Witch. They're doing Blair Witch. And I'm like, oh my God. So we never really got a run on it, which was really sad. You people just watch the first couple of minutes and just go, this is ridiculous. It's Blair Witch. Done, So anyway, so I made this whole resume. I was doing all this producing and I said, look, I've got this body of work. I've got stuff for your, now you can show me that I can do a lead. I can do these roles. She said, they're all indie productions. I don't care about indie productions. You need guest stars and co-stars on TV. That's all I care about. And I was just like,
And it's that catch-22. How can you get a guest star or co-star on TV without an agent? The agent isn't going to support you until you get those roles.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Unless you happen to have the right, it's all really a lot of chance. If you're just getting called in from your picture, then it's just luck of the draw. They liked your photo, you stood out, whatever reason, but no matter what, or your connections, obviously connections can be the main thing. But if you don't have those, I just didn't get the shot that I wanted to just get in the door and let me try, and let me show you what I got. So I made this body of work, now you can showcase me. And it was I don't care. I don't care about it. So I always knew in my gut, I wasn't going to be successful through just auditioning. I always felt like it was going to be networking, people I know, putting me in things and getting me. And that's really the way it's worked. It's not just, I submit a resume and I get, it's a lot harder, my route, I feel like, because our industry is so protected and I can't just walk into Sony and meet Steven Spielberg if I want to, but it's a lot harder. I would much rather just be going out and auditioning and getting those opportunities. And same with producing. It's, it's all network based. So you're not going to just, go on, what is it? A Monster and find we're looking for a producer for a feature film. Submit your resumes. Like, one that's paying at least. So they want you to find the money. That's those.
Oh God. Yeah. That's been my experience too. I got to say, a lot of what you've said, I've also had to struggle with, even the like producers hitting on me, honestly. So
really, you get it from a guy perspective? Oh, interesting. Like women hit on you or guys hit on you?
No, gay guys hitting on me. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm straight, unfortunately, but like, there were a couple.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, what Charlie Chaplin said, right? When he was asked if he was Jewish, he said, "I do not have that honor." So,
you could change that if you want to. Just let you know that's something you do.
Oh, but yeah, like it's a struggle. It's about who you know and not what you know, or not even your talent, unfortunately. And a lot of it is a big debate in the industry now. I think, how much is really based on skill and how much is just luck of who you can get in front of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask, what was if you feel comfortable sharing, what is the most ridiculous story of a male producer hitting on you?
Oh, golly. I mean, there's one, I mean, this is a really scary, sad thing. And, that I was almost raped on an audition from a guy, but
oh my God, I'm so sorry.
That was horrible. I mean, cause I can give you a watered down, but I'm telling you the legit. So they had like casting notices. I don't know if it was a backstage or whatever. And you're just trying to get a shot, anything, please let me get in something. And some guy was having auditions at his place in WeHo. And you just don't, you think, there's a lot of people do auditions in weird places. And I've had strange ones with like big auditions where they're having you do odd things. And so you're just, as an actor, you're just kind of always in this, like, I just have to go with whatever. And so I think, and you're hungry. And so you're just like, okay, I'll do what I need to do. I'm not going to go sleep around or anything like that, but okay. So I went to this guy's house and he was doing some kind of, I blocked out some of this because it was really scary, but he was doing this film. He said he's going to film. It was just me and him. And he was going to film us acting something and he's going to be in it just for him to be able to review it later on. He's being my scene partner. And he did like sexual, I guess, fetish kind of things where it's like, I'm going to pretend like I'm strangling you and I'm going to do, but it was all in you're in the situation, a man's here's how it's going in the film. It wasn't a, hey, let's just get kinky kind of thing. So you go with it because that's what you're trained to do. I go with what I'm given and do it. And I think at that moment you're I was just in character. I've got to do what I got to do. I'm not stepping outside going, Summer, wait, this is weird. Why is he? There is a little like, hey, this is weird. But like I said, a lot of auditions are weird. So he was doing like these crazy kind of things with me. And somehow he ended up getting me on his couch. I don't remember if he was, and he had locked the door. He started to do stuff to me. He had to go grab something. Thank God I don't remember all the details. And I ran out of there. I remember having a hard time with the door while I think you could go to the bathroom or something like that. And I ran out and at the time called my boyfriend, like hysterical, like this guy just tried to rape me. And
oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that was a little more than hitting on me, but that's yeah.
I am so sorry that you had to go through that. That is disgusting. And I hope that guy is in jail or dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy, thank you. So there's a lot of, that was an extreme case. For the most part, they're not like that, but it's very often, one guy was telling me how I've told my mother about you. And I was like, what? Like, we're having business meeting. What do you mean you're talking to your mom about me? Like, so those are like the watered down of like, all right, this is clearly, you're not seeing me as a business really now. apparently mom's knowing about me.
Wow.
Sorry to get like down. That's like serious.
No, I completely understand. Like like I said, I have had male producers hit on me as well. And not to the extent that you've gone through. I don't want to trivialize or anything you've gone through, but I've had male producers like inappropriately touch my legs and stuff like that. And that's not cool. That's not acceptable. Hey everybody, Editing Tucci here. At this point at the interview, we actually took a break, partly because of the subject matter, partly due to limitations with Zoom. I just wanted to take this opportunity to say that sexual assault, rape, and sexual harassment is not appropriate in the entertainment industry, or any industry for that matter. And if you or someone you know has suffered sexual assault, there is help and guidance. You can call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-4673. The National Sexual Assault Hotline is hosted by RAIN, the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization. RAIN created and operates the National Sexual Assault Hotline in partnership with more than 1,000 local sexual assault service providers across the country. They offer confidential 24/7 support via live phone operators as well as live online chat in both Spanish and English. That number again is 1-800-656-4673, or you can go to their website, rain.org/resources, and don't forget that's RAIN with 2 N's, and the link will also be in the show notes for this episode. I'll also mention that this is not a sponsored ad. I am not getting paid to promote this number. I'm naming these resources because we all have to do our part. And men, yes men, I'm talking to you, we can't pretend to be chivalrous by opening doors for women and then turning our backs on abuse. So please share these resources wherever you feel comfortable. Now, back to our interview with producer and actress Summer Moore in what is quite possibly the most awkward conversation transition ever. So, with all of that being said, you started making a lot of your own content. You're at a point now where you've done quite a bit of work on your own. Can you walk us through some of the projects that you have completed?
I have completed some features. I've done several shorts. I just right now have a web series that's out. We're on the finales launching this week. It's a 9-episode web series that we shot during lockdown of the pandemic.
And that's called Pandemic Pillow Talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been doing a lot of press interviews and stuff like that for the last couple of months for that. So that's been really good from that standpoint. It has Eric Roberts in it. And that I'm hoping that we can get that picked up by a streamer or a network so that we could make a limited series half hour out of it for a couple seasons. Kind of like it's similar to Fleabag, Sex and the City kind of thing, but we did film it during the pandemic. So it was a very creative way for us to be able to film 100% remotely and all that stuff. So, and then I work full time as a post producer currently, and we do some production as well. And that's for another company that I work for. So, I've done music videos, I've done TV commercials, I've produced a whole gambit of stuff. I think the only thing I haven't produced is a TV show.
Mm-hmm. And a musical. Yeah, nice. I would love to see a musical. I'm a huge musical comedy fan. So
you are? I'm not. I'm like, no, I don't need to bust out in song in the kitchen. Like, no.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Can you tell us about how Pandemic Pillow Talk kind of came about? I mean, obviously it came out of like the pandemic, but what was the drive to say, okay, I have to do this?
Yeah, it's a really cool producing story from what we did. I did a short film called As in Kevin. I don't know how many years ago, 8 or 9 years. I don't know. It's a while. And that was in the film festival circuit. It won some awards. It's a comedy about online dating based on true experiences that I had, as well as other people that I put into this film. And then during the pandemic, I had a lot of people of my friends hitting me up like, what could we come up with a concept that we could film? Because we're all in our houses. How, can you come up with something creative? And I was like, no, I literally could not think of anything. And then one of the people that I work for, she was like, well, what would you think? Her and I kind of jive a lot with our creativity, and she'll say, it's really nice. So she said, well, what if, she knows I love comedy. I love comedy and I love horror, not together, but I love that. Okay. And she said, well, what if we did a comedy about dating during the pandemic? And I was like, we could do a spinoff from As in Kevin and take that character and put her now in online dating in the pandemic world. And so I did like all this research as to what people were going through with online dating during the pandemic, where they were actually online dating now through Zoom. And then also incorporated a lot of the Zoom snafus, like your head disappearing into the background, my hands, or, and people who are on mute and they keep talking and you're like, I can't hear you. Like, why are you still talking? Like, it's just, what do you not? So we were incorporated a lot of the Zoom snafus that people still to this day are having problems with. And I wrote it for us to be 100%, excuse me, shooting it from webcams. And we would film it via Zoom. And as we got involved in it, we started doing a lot of trial and error, like technical of Zoom frame rates, and it skips and the quality, and we couldn't get it up to even 1920 by 1080, excuse me.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Like there's a lag as well. Like whenever we do in post and we're doing like color or whatnot, we use certain services that only have a 1 second lag, which is a lot of money for those. Versus Zoom's like way slower, So we realized pretty quickly that we were not going to be able to shoot it via Zoom. So then we went through all these different, now we're going to have to get iPhones for everybody and all the actors. We have to get all the gear for all the actors, drop it off, sanitize at their houses. They have to set up everything, lights, sound, camera, makeup, set design, everything. And the directors, the first one we shot, we thought maybe we could just it was very weird from the directing standpoint. And the DP and whatnot could not see the shot because the iPhone could not frame. You couldn't see the iPhone, what it was filming, because we're also acting through the Zoom. Like I'm talking to the director on Zoom, but you're not seeing the actual shot of my iPhone. So we had to get into other software that came about that we were able to use that. So it was crazy from the acting perspective. I have never had to do that hard of work because I'm playing every single crew member. And then we're also like on Zoom, which normally on set, we have all these radios that are all on different channels, and the actors aren't even on any of these anyway, but you don't have to listen to all the chatter. And then when you're on these, you're hearing the entire thing. Oh, his mic's not working. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Summer's light's too hot. Summer, can you Summer, can you get up and move that? So then you get up, move it, go back to become your stand-in. Oh, nope, we need you to go back over. Can you move that again? Come back. And then they'd just be like, okay, are you ready to film? And you're like, no. And a lot of times I hadn't even met my co-star yet. So I'm like, can I have a moment just to say hi? Like, we're like, hi, okay, you guys ready? And it's like, so it really made you very much appreciate a film set where everybody does their job. And as an actor, you can be let me get in my zone and let me get focused and run my lines and do whatever I need to be doing, because I'm not being the crew the entire time. And you're being the crew the whole shoot. I mean, the light changes in your apartments and now you're getting up and moving lights, and man, I don't know how the sound dudes get those microphones in and you don't hear the rustling. I can't figure that out. So it was very cool from the producing standpoint to go through all that. But at the end of the day, I had 3 phones, 1 webcam, and a tablet that I was using to have to do all my stuff.
Wow. That's crazy. And then how were you able to get Eric Roberts into it?
It's so crazy. Him and his wife submitted for the role, and we were just like, there's no way. This is a little indie. None of us, our production team was like, no way. There's no way they're going to do this. And it was like, we had stars from the 90s submit their agent submitted them. And I was like, oh, I know this person, but they haven't done anything since, right? So then I asked them, well, we'd like to see them audition. And they were like, oh, they're direct booking only. They don't audition. And so I thought, all right, we're going to ask Eric and Eliza to audition. There's no way Eric is auditioning. There's no way. They auditioned. They sent in, yes.
Oh my God.
It was like everything that we were like, there's no way. And then we were finally on this last meeting. We had a producer call. We were all like chatting and we were in the middle of whatever. And I said, well, I need to go talk to Eliza. I'm going to go have a call with her. And we're going to talk if they're going to do it or whatever. And they were like, all right, bye. And so I go and I get on the phone with Eliza. We talk and long story short, they wanted to do it. And so I came back on the call, everybody's still on Zoom, and I come back and they're just talking. Nobody asks Summer how it went. Nobody cares because it's like, there's no way. And then finally I said, do you guys want to hear how it went? Like, they were like, yeah, sure. What, Summer? And I said, they're going to do it. What? And they were like, do they know what they're doing? And they were like, yeah. And they're going to do it. And I mean, all in all, Eric and Eliza have been so supportive. Eric said so many times on the shoot, this is just so neat what you girls are doing. And we've done a few TV show interviews. And he said, he was so complimentary. He said, we were like pioneers to this. And he thought it was so neat what we were doing because everybody wasn't working. We were shut down. And we were figuring it out. And he said, and they did it and it looks great. And they've been big proponents. They've said this is one of their favorite projects. And like, he's like promoting it on his social, which I don't like see him do that with these so it's just been unbelievable.
That is fantastic. And it's great to hear that you were able to just make that immediate connection with them. That's like, yeah. And so you said they submitted. I assume they did not submit via like backstage casting.
But breakdowns, through the breakdowns.
Okay, through breakdowns. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to ask, if for no other reason, because I want to completely steal this tactic from you. If you're, if I put something out on breakdown casting, and I get these offers from, these 90 stars, like, I assume that they would be SAG core, right? Because it was a non-union production.
No,
right?
It was union.
Oh, it was SAG. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you did that under the SAG ULB.
I think
contract?
it did a new media one. I don't remember which agreement we were under, but yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then if you're putting this out on backstage casting, how do you frame this as something appetizing for these actors?
You mean for the celebrities, or you're talking about for the regular actors?
For celebrities, yeah. Yes.
What? The celebrities?
Yes. Yeah.
So in the breakdowns, we just listed it as we were looking for celebrities. We gave a rate of what we were looking for, names only. And you always get people that think they're names that are not. I mean, it's just like you get, like, how many times have I done, like, this guy has to be so drop dead gorgeous. And then this huge 500-pound man that is not, I'm sorry, like, or I need a black dude, and then you have white dudes, and it's just like, oh my gosh. So you always get these people that say they're celebrities. Or I did one for The Warning. I needed a real news reporter, one that has been on TV, that is a real working. And all these actors, they're like, oh, I can play a news reporter. I mean, you really, from the producing side, it's so, I wish every actor could see what idiots act like. Like, you're so irritated. Like, stop wasting my time. I told you specifically what I wanted. I'm not going to go, oh, you're right. I want somebody that can play a newscaster. I wasn't really looking for a real one. Great. So anyway, that's a diversion, but
no, you're right. Like oh, sorry.
No, go. I was just,
I had the exact same experience. I put out a thing on backstage casting looking for a woman of color, and I got 4 white guys applying for it.
Like, they don't read.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I need to remember these actors because I never will cast them, but there's so many of them. It's just like, oh my gosh. Like, so anyway, we put celebrities only, and then, I mean, we're not paying a huge rate. We didn't have a huge budget for this. So right. You're not going to get, I mean, you're not going to get a Brad Pitt submitting or anything like that. But, and as far as, are you asking, like, if they have to audition? I mean, if you want to say in there, they will be required to audition, but then you may get somebody that is a big name that you don't even really need them to, because you know them. But
right.
I guess a way to avoid the direct offer only people is say they will be required to audition. So please only submit if you're willing to audition. I mean, you'll still get agents that don't read. Agents do the same thing too. So you'll still get this, well, my talent's so famous, they're not gonna audition for you. Well, I don't want to work with that agent anyway. So sorry for that actor that you have a crappy agent. So I think that's the best thing to do is you tell them up front. But then, I mean, I was even getting people that were like, oh, we need more money. And I'm like, I put the rate on there. I was not like, it wasn't a let's negotiate on here. It's like only submit if that's the rate you'll do that rate.
Right.
So I'm sure you'll still get some, I don't know if I can cuss on here, some dumb A words on there. So.
Cuss as much as you want. It's the internet. So
you'll probably get some of those, the dumb asses submitting themselves still or agents, but it'll maybe help weed them out so that they're not like my talent is too big for the britches that they don't have to audition. And I understand it gets annoying to have to keep auditioning if you're a name. You shouldn't have to, I think, at some point. But I have to say also that we were shooting at their house. They weren't having to leave. They got to work together. I think there's a lot of these things came into play, and that people weren't working. She wasn't getting stuff. I don't know that he was doing any films. I mean, it was still December 2020 where we were in pods. We still didn't have a vaccine. SAG and all that protocol hadn't been set up. And not to say there weren't rogue productions and idiots. I'm sorry if you're one of them or any of your listeners running around there taking chances with their lives, but I don't think Eric was out doing anything. So I think a lot of that played into we just right time, and I love them. I have formed a really good bond with them and try to help them in any way that I can, because I've been very much about networking and keeping those networks. I think that's a big thing that people in our industry are not good at, the follow-up. And I think that's how I've been able to do the things I've been able to do, is because I nurture relationships and I really do try to give and give and give and help people. And it's not just take from me, you know.
To hold on to things to themselves, and they are more than happy to take and take and take without giving back. Yeah.
I think that's normal. And it's sad. I mean, I've known people that know a connection I really need to get to, and I think that's normal. And it's sad. I mean, I've known people that know a connection I really need to get to, and they're like, and I'm just like, why? And I help you and I give to you, and it just gets frustrating. And I don't like that stuff. I don't subscribe to it. I'm like, I don't want to work in that kind of industry. That can be 90% of the industry. I want the 10%. I want the people that are awesome and we help each other and we're good. I mean, my mom tells me over and over, you're in the wrong industry, because I am a very sensitive, giving, just an anomaly from that standpoint. But I did a film festival that's for women. I've done 2 installments of that one, and I'm just about giving and helping, and it comes back to you. And that's strongly what I believe. And that's the only way for success. And that's actually how I made The Warning, my first feature film, was by helping other people get work. And then I found an executive producer on LinkedIn that I didn't even know, and he gave me the money for the film.
That's incredible. So, and you've done a lot. Like, we've only talked about 2 projects, but you've done a lot of web series, of shorts. You did do 1 music video, which is not a musical.
No, music videos I will do. I won't do musicals. All right, if you pay me enough, I might do one. Okay.
But yeah, so I'm curious. So having done all of this, having all of this behind you, what are you looking forward to in the future? What's on your slate? What kind of gigs are you looking for? All of the above.
I really love film. That's where my passion is. But I'm really loving TV right now. I'm watching The Last Kingdom. I mean, like, some of these, I'm like, yes, I would love to make shows like this. But I don't, all my credentials are in film. So if I could get the shot at TV, I'd take it. But that's what I love doing. I love production per se. I'm not the biggest fan of post unless it's a project I've been through the whole time. I think post is awesome. I mean, there's the creatures of post and there's the creatures of production. And I just love the energy in production. It's like, yeah, we're, that kind of thing. So, besides my web series, I already said that I hope that does, we get that picked up. I have a single location feature that I wrote called 6 Feet Above. That's placed and gotten some the script has gotten in places on a few of them. And that is got 9 characters, almost all women. Like I said, single location. It's a thriller horror film, kind of a cross between Rosemary's Baby and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And I would love to make that, but as a producer, I am not my strong suit is not financing. I'm not a financing producer. So it's not like I have all these great connections to like, hey, let me just hit up Bob and he's going to give me, X amount of money. So, so those are from my projects. I mean, I've got a lot of other projects that I'd like to do, but I'd like to be working on other people's stuff too. Like I can do various things. I'm in the union for production coordinating as well. UPM. I've got a film that I'm supposed to be doing in August at this point. That's going to be a feature that I'm going to be line producing for and also being in, but I'm up for hire, man. Which maybe all your producers are. So they're like, nah. All your friends are like, yeah, we are too.
And just since we're pimping out your resume, what markets do you work in, or have you worked in previously besides LA?
You mean film where we like locations or like where we sold it or what?
Well, yeah, I've heard people say like, oh, I really want to get into like the Atlanta market, and because there's a lot of shoots in Atlanta. So yeah, so LA, New York, all of that.
I want to do Hawaii, dude, because I want to live there.
Nice.
I'm strategic here. So no, Atlanta, I think, is a really great market to be in. I at one point had thought about moving there for acting. And one of my buddies was he's like in every movie. You see him like with Tom Hanks and you see him with Denzel. And he's like, but he's always like the guy who has like a line or two. It's not, he's a day player kind of thing.
Right.
But he's just really taken off there. And I said, do you think I should come out there? And he was like, it's just so saturated here. But I do have a very good DP friend that ended up filming for Cobra Kai last December. And he was like, you should get out here. There's so much production stuff, but it's LA. I mean, we're not at the beginning of it. If you'd gotten in when it was just starting, I think that was a lot easier, unless you have connections over there, which I mean, I have a couple, but probably less than I have here. So Atlanta, I think, is good. I really would like to film in Boston. I have some inclination towards Boston, and I had looked at moving to Boston, but at the time I only know one film guy out there, and he was like, he can't really get me into anything, but I don't know. I like the Boston people, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I don't know, but I'll take Hawaii. I'll take Hawaii or New Zealand. So
all good choices. Yeah. So let me ask you one last big question. If you could go back to Colorado Springs or go back to you when you were attending USC, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh, I love this. I've gotten this question several times. Actually, I was thinking about it again today. Like I did one yesterday and I gave something and I was like, oh, I should have said that. There's so much advice I could give myself. Like we were talking about Pandemic Pillow Talk and I was going to say a date that I should not have gone on, which I would have told myself, or some of the guys I wouldn't have dated. But from USC's standpoint, it's a little bit hard because I think about like Chapman and their producing program is so awesome. And I don't know what SC does as far as producing over there. If it's part of the film school, do you know?
If USC's producing is part of the film school?
Yeah. Do they have a producing program?
Yeah, USC had the Stark program, which was a grad school only producing program.
Okay.
Chapman has gone back and forth, and it's funny. I went to Chapman with the interest in getting a producing emphasis in my film degree.
Yeah.
But the year that I got there, they had gotten rid of the producing emphasis because only like 6 out of 600 people were interested in it. But the only difference is, as far as getting the emphasis, is just taking 2 or 3 extra classes, which I would have done anyway.
So SC doesn't have an undergrad producing program?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm
Okay.
going to have to fact check myself.
Okay, so I only ask you this because what I would have told myself probably doesn't apply. But when I went into SC, it was, I'm just going to act, and I was just going to be an actress. I was not producing. I wasn't doing anything else because I'm going to be super famous as an actress, right? Okay.
Right.
So if I could go back, I would tell myself to start learning producing. But if SC didn't even have that program or doesn't, then I don't know where I would have learned the producing from. But I do wish I could have. I feel like we've had interns, and the interns that are coming out now, they get these like SC, this girl, she was in Plan B internship, and now her career is like, and she's like, what, 15 years younger than me, and she's working for Brad Pitt, and I'm like, my internship was like over at the Chasen agency and Herb Tannen Talent for me to like pull headshots for actors, and that's all I did. And I didn't get any connections. I was hoping I'd get an agent out of it. I didn't even get that. And ours were lame. So I'm just saying now, if I could do some kind of that and tell myself, dude, just start getting in the door as a producer and still focus on acting, that's what I would do. I know that's the longest answer ever.
It's okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Fact check. It looks like USC's producing program is still only Peter Stark graduate level only.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So I guess I'd have to go to Chapman, but I went to SC. So I don't know what I don't know what I could have done differently, except even if I'd gone into it, I want to learn to produce, because there's no way to learn to produce. I don't know I don't know.
What specific producing skill sets? What specific producing skill sets do you wish you had learned earlier?
Oh, I would have loved to have learned about budgets. I would have loved to learn about how to even make projects and to do things. Like, I've really been self-taught and figured things out on my own. I mean, I've had mentors and things like that, but I didn't get formally schooled. And like, I would love to do that kind of stuff. It could be like a formal, I've even thought about going back, because I'm sure there's things that I don't know from the indie side. Yeah. But I think you're kind of taught, you get more connections, like in college, like I just said, she's coming out to Plan B entertainment. Yeah. So it's like you could do these internships that would get you in the door.
And that's season 2, episode 11 of the Producers Lounge podcast. Thank you to my guest Summer Moore for joining us. You can find out more about her by checking out the show notes and visiting our website at greaterandgrander.com. Our intro and outro music today is Menilmontant by Latché Swing. Our episode still image is by Ricardo Tomasz on Greater and Grander. If you have any questions or suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the episode comments. You can stay up to date by following us on social media at the handle Greater Grander, all one word. Make sure to subscribe wherever fine podcasts are found. And also, if you like what we do, share the podcast with a friend who you think will enjoy it. Join us next week for more cocktails and questions. And until then, keep producing dreams.